वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीरूपं सागरजातं सहगना राधामृतं तं सजीवति साधवैतं सावधूतं परिजनाः कृष्णचैतन्यदेव श्रीराधा सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी भाष्यादेशकारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदाय कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्याय गौरवाणी नमः हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबन्धु जगते गोपेश गोपिकान्त श्रीराधाकान्त नमस्तुते तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी श्रीराधे नीलाचलनिवासाय नित्याय परमात्मने बलभद्र सुभद्राभ्यां श्रीजगन्नाथाय ते नमः वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः हे श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानन्द श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरभक्तवृन्द हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरो दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्यमीश्वरम् Hare Krishna. So what is the verse we are supposed to discuss today, Prabhu? 7.5.31. Okay, thank you. Let us start. Okay, so we are discussing today Canto 7, Chapter 5, Prahlad Maharaj, the saintly son of Hiranyakashipu. And text today we are discussing is 31. Nate vidu swartagatim Vishnu Durashaya ye bahirarthamanina Andhayathandhe upaniyamanas Te pishatantrayam urudham nibadha Nate vidu swarthagatim hi Vishnum Durashaya ye bahirarthamanina Andhayathandhe upaniyamanas Te pishatantrayam urudham nibadha Nate vidu swarthagatim hi Vishnum दुराशया ये बहिरार्थमानिना अंधा यथांधे रूपये यमानास ते पीश तंत्राय मुरुधाम निबद्ध. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Persons who are strongly entrapped by the consciousness of enjoying material life and who have therefore accepted their leader or guru, a similar blind man attached to external sense objects, cannot understand that the goal of life is to return home back to Godhead and engage in the service of Lord Vishnu. As blind men, guided by another blind man, miss the right path and fall into a ditch, materially attached men, led by another materially attached man, are bound by the ropes of fruitive labor, which are made very strong or which are made of very strong cords, and they continue again and again in materialistic life, suffering the threefold miseries. Purpose? Since there must always be a difference of opinion between the demons and the devotees. Hiranyakashipu, when criticized by his son Prahlad Maharaj, should not have been surprised that Prahlad Maharaj differed from his way of life. Nonetheless, Hiranyakashipu was extremely angry and wanted to rebuke his son for deriding his teacher or spiritual master, who had been born in the Brahmin family of the great Acharya Shukracharya. The word Shukra means semen and Acharya means refers to a teacher or guru. Hereditary gurus or spiritual masters have been accepted everywhere since time immemorial, but Prahlad Maharaj declined to accept such a seminal guru or take instruction from him. An actual guru is Shrotriya. Shrotriya. One who has heard or received perfect knowledge through the parampara, the disciplic succession. Therefore, Prahlad Maharaj did not recognize a seminal spiritual master. Such spiritual masters are not at all interested in Vishnu. Indeed, they are hopeful of material success. Bahirarthamanina, material success. The word Bahi means external, Artha means interest, Manina means taking very seriously. Generally speaking, practically, everyone is unaware of the spiritual world. The knowledge of the materialist is restricted within the 4 billion mile limit of this material world, which is the dark portion of the creation. They do not know that beyond the material world is the spiritual world. Unless one is a devotee of the Lord, one cannot understand the existence of the spiritual world. Gurus, teachers who are simply interested in the material world are described in this verse as andha, blind. Such blind men may lead many other blind followers without true knowledge of material conditions, but they are not accepted by devotees like Prahlad Maharaj. Such blind teachers, being interested in external material world, are always bound by the strong ropes of material nature. Persons who are strongly entrapped by the consciousness of enjoying material life and who have therefore accepted their leader or guru, a similar blind man attached to external sense objects, cannot understand that the goal of life is to return home back to Godhead and engage in the service of Lord Vishnu. As blind men, guided by another blind man, miss the right path and fall into a ditch, materially attached men, led by another materially attached man, are bound by the ropes of fruitive labor, which are made of very strong cords. And they continue again and again in materialistic life, suffering the threefold miseries. Prahlad Maharaj is speaking to his father here. So, this conversation, Hiranyakashipu is asking Prahlad Maharaj, what did you learn in your schooling? And this is Prahlad Maharaj's reply. This episode happened 3 times. So it takes 30. Prahlad Maharaj is saying, Matirna Krishna Parato Satova Mitho Bhipadyeta Griha Pritana Adanta Gobhir Vishitam Tamishram Puna Puna Charvita Charvana. So here he is saying, because of uncontrolled senses, persons too addicted to materialistic life make progress towards hellish conditions and repeatedly chew that which is already being chewed. Their inclinations towards Krishna are neither aroused either by the instructions of others, by their own efforts, or a combination of both. So he's saying materialistic person, they're simply chewing the chewed, and that's the way they make progress towards hellish conditions. So they cannot feel attraction towards Krishna. That's what he's saying. Ladna is saying. So such a person becomes entrapped in enjoying mentality. Then he finds a guru who is a similar blind man, and thus they fall into the ditch of degradation. This fruitive labor is very strong. And such a way the person will continue again and again in materialistic life, suffering the threefold miseries. Yeah. Very interestingly, Srila Prahlad Maharaj is exposing the reality to his father, who is in a state of delirium. And that's what Prahlad Maharaj is pointing out. Materially attached men, their efforts are futile. They are simply transitioning towards hell, towards degradation, towards greater and greater suffering. And such people get intoxicated and addicted, so much so that the attraction for Krishna does not take place. So Srila Prabhupada is pointing out very beautifully here. And you see, there is going to be always a difference of opinion between a devotee and a demonic personality. This goes to show that so you see, what is the world? How is the world like? Very much depends on our attitude. What is the world like? How does the world look like? That depends on what is our heart like, what is our attitude like. Whereas the whereas one place, whereas the place which is, or you can say, whereas the place which is attractive to the demoniac personality is very unfortunate and pitiful in the eyes of a devotee. And what is not at all attractive for a demoniac personality is a cherished place for the devotee. Lord Krishna explains this in Bhagavad Gita. Yanisha sarva bhutanam. That which is day for the materialist is night for the devotees, and vice versa. So this should not be surprising. But we see that when we interface, when both these personalities, the divine and the demoniac, they interface this particular disparity of situational analysis, uh, then both of them react also in a different way. Whereas a demoniac personality, when he sees a difference of opinion, the demoniac personality is not able to tolerate. He becomes very angry. And therefore, Hiranyakashipu, he was so intolerant that he was ready to kill and murder his own son. Terrific lesson Bhagavatam is giving us here. It's a materialistic personality, demoniac personality. Interestingly, when Hiranyakashipu is asking his son Prahlad, what did he learn from the school? He's putting Prahlad on his lap, he's cajoling and caressing his head, he's offering him all love and care. But as soon as Prahlad Maharaj is speaking the reality, immediately he throws him, says murder him. So some minutes back, the movie shows Hiranyakashipu keeping Prahlad on his lap, keeping no, caressing the head of Prahlad. That's what the movie shows. I say, okay, such a loving attitude. But what is the basis of that love? That love has no basis. And what is the reason? When Prahlad is speaking something which doesn't fall into what Hiranyakashipu exactly wanted, he is even ready to kill his own son. Kill. This demoniac attitude, you see. So demonism is, so you see, demoniac attitude the demoniac attitude comes along with intolerance. What an extreme intolerance. So Srila Prabhupada points out this should not be surprising. You should have understood. Prahlad is a devotee. Definitely is going to have difference of opinion. But he is intolerant to the extent he is ready to kill. So demonism always comes along with intolerance. Intolerance of the other person. Whereas now we can see the full contrast when Prahlad Maharaj is seeing Hiranyakashipu. Prahlad is not intolerant. Prahlad is not saying, hey demon, you have to be killed. No, Narsimha. No, that is not. Yeah. Prahlad is not. You see, Prahlad Maharaj is not having that intolerance. Demoniac personality. You have to be killed and smashed. Where is Lord Narsimha? Where is Sudarshan Chakra of the Supreme Lord? He's not invoking Sudarshan of the Supreme Lord. Instead of intolerance, Prahlad Maharaj is feeling compassion. And Prahlad is feeling, oh, my dear father, the greatest of the demons, you are feeling great attraction for sense gratification, for materialistic power, prestige. Very unfortunate. You are simply chewing the chewed, my dear father. There is no hope and scope. But I can tell you something which can create a hope and scope for you in your hopeless life. Please go to Vrindavan. Shake the dust of the lotus feet of the devotees. You hear the instructions from devotees. That can create fortune in your unfortunate and misfortunate life. So you see, Prahlad Maharaj is feeling compassion. And out of his compassion, he is genuinely concerned about the welfare of Hiranyakashipu, the demoniac personality, who is attempting to murder Prahlad. So Prahlad Maharaj is feeling compassion and feeling for the welfare of even his murderer. Despite the nefarious murder attempts of Hiranyakashipu. This is the difference between a devotee and a demoniac personality. So both of them are encountering a difference opinion. Hiranyakashipu thinking, let me murder people who are not following who are not coinciding with my opinion. And whereas the other way, there is Prahlad, who is also experiencing a difference of opinion because Hiranyakashipu is completely different opinion. Prahlad is feeling compassion. And Prahlad is feeling for the welfare, and therefore he is earnestly appealing. From the core of his heart, he is appealing to Hiranyakashipu. And what we are reading today is earnest appeal of Prahlad Maharaj. Where Prahlad Maharaj is telling that there is no point in being driven by these ropes of fruitive labor because they dunk a person into greater and greater misery. There is no point in appointing other blind men as one's advisors. One will fall into a ditch. So we can see what a terrific contrast in how the two different kind of mentalities process a particular situation, see a particular world. When Prahlad Maharaj is seeing the materialistic people, Prahlad Maharaj is not taking inspiration from them that okay, I should also be a materialistic person. And Prahlad Maharaj is feeling compassion and he is offering prayer to the Supreme Lord and he is telling, oh Lord, I am very worried about these people. Prahlad Maharaj is saying, I am very worried about these people. These materialistic people, these fools, they are running after sense gratification, they are embracing extreme misery in their lives. For me, I am not much worried because I am able to think about you, Krishna, and therefore I am not much worried, but I am worried about these people. Please help these people. And then Prahlad Maharaj is praying that, oh Lord, better purify these people and take them back to Godhead. And if at all you are feeling that they are too sinful, please give all their sins to me. Let me remain in this material world forever, but please take all of them back to Godhead. Prahlad Maharaj is praying like that. So you see, he's feeling compassion, he's feeling prayerful, he's not feeling intolerant. So we can see that you see all kinds of intolerance shoot out from the platform of materialism, atheism, demonism. When there is bhakti, one is able to reconcile everything. So if in relationships one is feeling intolerance, or if life situations one is feeling intolerance, then one has to understand this intolerance is coming from the demoniac traits in my heart. The demoniac traits in my heart are on the search, and that is why this kind of intolerance is coming, that I am not able to tolerate a particular situation, a particular relationship, and so on and so forth. Arguments, fights, dissensions, all of them breed on the ground of demonism. So we need to increase the bhakti element in our lives, and if we increase the bhakti element in our lives, there is no question of intolerance, there is no question of dissension, there is no discrepancy in Prahlad Maharaj's heart. No, he is the ever well-wisher of Hiranyakashipu and every living entity, the humanity. No dissension, no dissension in Prahlad's heart, but there is dissension in Hiranyakashipu's heart. There is fear and insecurity in Hiranyakashipu's heart. He is not able to tolerate. He is not able to take it up because he is demoniac, and that is the problem with demonism. That a slight disturbance also one cannot tolerate. No. A slight perturbation is good enough to create an explosion. Yeah. A slight perturbation starts the nuclear fission and fusion, which goes on eternally. Like that, the nuclear fission and fusion of the bombardment of suffering, the explosive suffering, cascade of explosive suffering, one explosive thought after another, one explosive deed after another. That's demonism. So, here we can see that this, and that is why Prahlad Maharaj is describing this materialistic attitude is very, very dangerous, because the ropes by which it is bound are very, very strong, and thus one prepares or one keeps gliding down on this royal road towards hell and degradation. Materialistic attitude and degradation are inevitable. That's why Prabhupada says that one who is a demoniac personality cannot have any good qualities. Why? Because a demoniac materialistic personality cannot have materialistic purposes. Materialistic personality cannot have any good qualities. Why? Because materialistic personality is on the way, on the road towards degradation, being bound by these cords of fruitive labor. He's attracted towards all kinds of vicious provocations. Because he's attracted towards all kinds of vicious provocations, such a person cannot, whatever little bit stocks of good qualities one may have, they all get depleted in no time. Nothing good is sustainable. Why? Because the attitude, the proclivity, the orientation is materialistic. Srila Prabhupada is elaborating that yes, Prahlad Maharaj rejected Shukracharya and his sons, and then the professor Shanda Namarka. So he rejected them. Why he rejected them? Because they were not interested in Vishnu. They were themselves materialistic personalities. Therefore, Prahlad Maharaj rejected them. Prabhupada is explaining Shukracharya. Shukra means seminal. This is so hereditary gurus. Prahlad rejected them, hereditary gurus. So, Nowadays there's a fashion of gurus. But he says my coding guru, management guru, this guru, that guru. No, it's a big fashion. So, but all these gurus, they are explained to be, Prahlad Maharaj is categorizing them to be blind. Because they are blind, they cannot, they themselves don't know what is good for them. And therefore, their path, uh, other blind men are following. Now, everyone is falling into a ditch. They are all progressing towards hell, Prahlad Maharaj said. So this goes to show that uh, that it is very important as a devotee, we have to be very, very careful and very, very alert about this aspect, that whom we are looking forward to and whom we are taking inspiration from. No doubt, this material world is very provoking, and therefore there are waves of provocation which come and waves of allurement which come. But if we start getting attracted towards, uh, the materialistic people who are exhibiting you can say, an alluring charisma of maybe some material accolade, and we start getting allured and attracted or infatuated, then that is deadly and dangerous, because that will expedite or catalyze our progress toward degradation in hell. So we have to understand not to get allured. Not to get allured. Prahlad Maharaj seeing Hiranyakashipu, having so much powers. Hiranyakashipu was able to control demigods and make them dance according to his notes. Prahlad is not feeling attracted. Prahlad is not saying, wow, what a power, Prahlad is saying, yeah, he's feeling, a pity, So Prahlad Maharaj is not saying, wow, Prahlad Maharaj is saying, no, oh, blind man, what a blind man, he's so intoxicated. He's falling into the ditch with all his powers and thinking that he's doing something great. That's why Prahlad Maharaj is able to see that. So, why now? Please try to understand why and how Prahlad Maharaj is able to have this kind of a consciousness. Why and how Prahlad is able to have this kind of a consciousness? Because in the heart of his heart, Prahlad Maharaj is hooked. He is hooked and taking shelter of Srila Narada Muni, his spiritual master. And because Srila Narada Muni, his words, his life, his example, his instructions, his sacrifice is there in the heart of Srila Prahlad Maharaj always and at all times. Therefore, he is able to see, and therefore he is able to see even alluring charismatic personalities in the real light, that no, this is unfortunate. And therefore Prahlad is not getting allured. Why? Because in his heart Narad Muni is sitting. In his heart, Narad Muni's life, his instructions, his example, his role model is playing. And that is why when Lord Narasimhadev himself is triggering, and Lord Narasimhadev himself is triggering and poking Prahlad Maharaj, what is there in his heart comes out. When Narasimhadev is himself poking Prahlad Maharaj and triggering him, no, you have to ask some benediction. Now Lord Narasimhadev himself is pinging Prahlad Maharaj, saying, okay, the benediction is, please give me eternal service to Narad Muni. So why? Because that is there in his heart. If somebody is pricking, poking, what is there in our heart will come out, is it not? And here Lord Narasimhadev is poking. While Lord Narasimhadev is poking, he wants to show to the world what is the heart of Prahlad Maharaj. And Lord Narasimhadev is opening up Prahlad's heart and then showing to the whole world, see, this is my devotee's heart. And what is there in Prahlad Maharaj's heart? And Prahlad Maharaj is saying, that that I want eternal service to my spiritual master. Evam janam nipatitam prabhavahi kupe kama bhikamanuyah prapatan prasanga kritvatmasat surashina bhipalayantam soham katham navrisaje tava bhritya sevam. So Prahlad Maharaj is saying, I am demonic personality fallen in a deep dark well full of snakes, never to come out. When your great devotee, he came in my life, he picked me up and made me like him. How can I leave service to such a great spiritual master, such a great devotee of yours? That's all I want. So why? Because in his heart, the spiritual master, he is clinging on to the lotus feet of his spiritual master, and therefore Prahlad Maharaj is not getting allured, and he is able to expose the illusion in the external charisma of this material world, and that is exactly what Prahlad Maharaj is speaking and sharing with Hiranyakashipu, that that there are these great personalities and great devotees of the Lord whom we should keep as a role model. So our heart should be bubbling, our heart, their lives, their instructions of these great souls, self-realized souls should be ringing. And then and only then we will come to a state that we will not be allured by these blind leaders and follow their path, and save ourselves from progressing towards hellish life. Let's stop here for today. Do we have any questions? Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Oh, we should share Krishna consciousness with them. So, so yeah, Rajan Babu always says that we should not try to, in our social circles, we should not try to hide that we are devotees. Sometimes devotees want to hide. They take off the tilak. They don't want others to see their country mala, like that. So we don't have to show and be like what these materialistic people are. So devotee has only one life. There are no two lives: material life, spiritual life. There is only one life, spiritual life. And so because when people see that we are uh, genuinely and in a committed way following these spiritual principles, that itself is a very powerful preaching. Also, that itself is a very powerful preaching. uh, Many people are that itself is a very powerful preaching, like we see say many times, say when we go for harinam, and or we go out for book distribution, so we just get a table and kept the books. Some people themselves come and take it, some them people themselves come and they come and ask some spiritual questions. So so you see, when we uh, so people are looking out for Krishna, but they want to see an example, right example. There are so many wrong examples in this world. Better be a right example. There are so many wrong examples, misguiding and misleading. And many people are able to understand that. And they are actually looking for some right example. When they get it, then you see they also start practicing. So, so just by being a right example is a great service. It's protection for ourselves and great service also, that way. And to get the strength to do this, we should have very strong association, very strong association. And that's why we should spend more and more time with devotees. We hear about devotees more and more, like we should hear about the lives of acharyas more and more. All of us should read Lilamrit, and so many other books proper disciples have written about Srila Prabhupada. their experiences with Prabhupada, then we should hear about other acharyas, Sanskrit Thakur, Bhaktivinoda Thakur. No? Then our heart will feel a lot of attraction for them, and the heart gets more and more hooked to them. Then we will not be allured by the materialistic people around. No? Rather, we'll be able to share the fortune and the mercy which the nectar and the juice which we are receiving in our hearts, like that. Sure. Sure, Prabhu. Thank you. Hare Krishna. So let's stop here for today. Granth Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. Hare Bol.
How can a blind person enlighten?